There we go. How's that? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. Really? Hmm. Hi, audio. How are you? Hello. Okay. Hello. Oh, I heard hello. I heard a hello. See that there's movement on here. Let's see. Nope. Oh my gosh. This is not in real time either. Hi, people. How are you? I don't know if I'm streaming. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know what's going on. Let me check this out. I don't know. Can you hear or see me? Love, sending love. Are we live? Okay. Ah, it's working. Working. All right. All right, friends. Ah, it's working. Oh, don't we love it? Don't we love it? Anywho, it's great to be here. I love seeing you guys. I'm so glad to be here. Um, trying to get my captions up in my chat to make sure that everything is there and that I'm following my chat today. Uh, last week, I was not keeping up with it. Live and learn. This show is in part about mindset and mental health. And I put the chat on the screen so now I can see it and I can be there and I can be with you. See if I click this. I sure did. Okay, here we go. Good to be here. I love this spaceship. So whoever it is, thank you for letting me use your spaceship. Here we are again. I am Nicole Borghi. I am your host for The Raven and the Warrior. And now that I can be heard, I can be seen. Everything is working. Here we go in real time. I do have this chat playing. For those of you who don't know me, I have been here before and blessed again to return here onto the Oneness platform. And I'm also streaming on my channels on YouTube. Mine is Illuminate Vegas. And let's see, I think YouTube changed the handle on everything. So let's see. Yeah, it is still Illuminate Vegas. And I am on Facebook. I'm probably going to start to go onto LinkedIn as well after a period of time. There we go. It all came up. So, hey, let's get the show rolling here. All right, all the channels are up and I'm following the channel and everything on my computer is popping up. So, hey, just thanks for being here. So glad to connect with you. I am so glad to be here, be part of the Oneness community, and you are so awesome. So, what is this show? This show is The Raven and the Warrior. And I am here with my guide, which is the Raven. And the Raven is the guide that is going to that otherworldly place. And the Raven brings back the messages. And many times, in another spirit animal of mine that I identify with so much is also the owl. And that owl takes that information from the Raven and brings it back. So for me, being able to walk on both planes, right? To be here, to be on the other plane, and to be part of this life, to be able to open up my third eye. And that is very much where I come from with the mental health, is all about mindset. And mindset is mental health. They are one and one. We need to understand that being healthy and being our best us and being a representative of maybe kind of just simply a good human being is to take care of our mental health. And how do we do that? We do that. I do it with diet and exercise and lots of sun. And that has helped me over this last year to pivot and change and grow and come back to seeming like a simple, normal human being, kind of air quotes, right? On what normalcy is in my life, in your life, sharing with others, and sharing with you here on Saturday. So this is AMA, so you can ask me anything at any time. And today we're in that new moon energy, right? And it's beautiful. We'll talk about the new moon energy, but let's go in with the news. And why do I like to look at what the news is about? Because to me, it's so important these days to find out what the development is in the world, because we're so worried, we're so in fear all the time. And on the debrief.org, yes, it is the debrief.org, there's an article here called Embracing Fearlessness. There's new research that discovers ways to block fear responses through electrical stimulation of the brain. And during these experiments, they've discovered a way to turn and prevent those fear responses through stimulation of the brain. Years and years ago, they did that, and that research went a little haywire, and they went a little out of control in some mental health facilities, and they used heavy points of electricity right here on the brain, and we're not talking about that right now. And what we are talking about is probably just a little light stimulation, and that as well. And other people are looking at other chemicals and doing some research on the change of the brain. Some people are familiar with ayahuasca and some of these other drugs that they are actually finally doing scientific study and financing those scientists to do these studies on the brain with the mental health and with the anguish and with the suicide. And having come from a very extreme mental health background in my home, a lot of domestic violence, a lot of alcoholism and drugs, and that mental health was not good. They were not healthy people in my family. And so that had a lot of effect on who I was and where I lived. And seeing these beautiful changes right now in what we're looking at. I use something, and it's called a Healy. If you can see that on this box, and it's got some cords in here, and it's got some little sticky tabs, and there's a little box that I turn on, and it does send these great little pulses, kind of like a lighter version of a TINS machine. And you can adjust this little thing, and it works with electricity. We are all electricity. There's so many ways to work with it, and I love that. If you like some more information, hit me up in the chat, or there's my emails on here. You can hit me up in my DM on Instagram. And hey, if you have a question, or if you are at a point of mental health, I encourage you to go get some help, get some type of therapy. But I also encourage you to talk to people. Anxiety, neuroses, these are things that we deal with in everyday life. And people, more and more, the neuroses is showing up when we're stuck at home, when we're on our computer, when we're not talking to people, when we're not sharing information and coming forward. It's very, very important to work with that. Back in the day, I probably would have been throwing my computer or not even showing up to this podcast. Even though it's my podcast, I would have had a hard time coming forward because I would have been so stressed. I've been worried about my lighting. Lighting is good. It's great to have some good lighting. But it either works or it doesn't. I could be in a moment where my mental health is so bad that I am in that neuroses of, hey, my lips are dry, or I need a drink. And that's okay. It's okay to be human. And you have to excuse me, my lips are very, very dry. But what I'm saying here is, There was a moment in time when I couldn't come forward. It wasn't being live. It wasn't talking to people. I didn't have a problem with that. What I had a problem with was right here. Those demons inside. And quite frankly, sometimes on a podcast, you want to present your best self, the best you that you can show up. You do want to have subjects to talk about. And I share that because what do? I produce podcasts for those of you who don't know, and I'm very much a digital artist, and I'm working with NFTs right now. Welcome to the new year. I couldn't even draw a stick figure. I can't. It's just not my forte. But I can play with digital artistry, and I'm having fun experiencing Blender and UE5, Unreal Engine. These are systems that are so incredible and changing and give us this CGI and this new technology. And if we embrace this technology without the fear and understand it, not allow it to be forced upon us, but to understand what's coming forward in our lives and use it for the platforms that are good. I mean, I use a platform called Megavirus, and it's incredible. It is a community of people who care about one another and care about going forward, how we can utilize this for good, just like Restream. How many empaths, how many psychics, how many people, coaches wanted to get online and utilize Restream because it was bad. Social media was bad. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Yeah. I'm not a TikToker for various socialist reasons and the information that they data mine, but I'm a realist. And so I choose not to use it, and that's okay. You can choose to use it, but what information and what content are you putting out? And so let's look at the content that we're putting out, how we're putting it out. I have no idea. This background is blurred. Things look kind of weird. What are we putting out? What are we putting out to the world? And I have learned to be cautious and conscious of what I'm bringing forward, right? And how I'm bringing this information forward. And it's always a change, like every day. Hey, is my headset working? Okay, not working. Let's try this again. And that's where, in that failure and that do-over, that we grow and we learn. Energy, there's also, here's the second thing I want to talk about, and we'll move on. The second thing on the debrief is the energy experiment, and I encourage you to go there because it's fun to learn. Energy teleportation and negative energy observed in quantum research breakthrough. The first experimental demonstration of quantum energy teleportation. This is exciting stuff. Those of you who are my sci-fi geeks, come on in with me. Teleportation on a real quantum hardware has been observed according to new research. Willy Wonka, remember when they get in the machine and the little kid transports, but he becomes this little midget? New research that also cites observations of negative energy. What was the other one called? The Fly, where he transports himself, but he gets stuck with a fly. Yeah. I'm not trying to instill the fear, but it's just fun to see what is coming up. And a researcher in the Department of Physics and Astronomy at Stony Brook, and his name is Kazuki Ikeda, at the Stony Brook University of New York, says that the breakthrough was achieved with the help of a series of IBM superconducting quantum computers. Oh my gosh, cool stuff. Unlike teleportation of objects that occurs in films, quantum teleportation involves the transfer of quantum data from one location to the other, and in the past has always been involved with transfers of information between two ports. So they're moving the energy from space to space. And teleporting physical quantities of remote locations is remaining a key challenge. So something physical, maybe like a box, right? And they're trying to transport it. And then we always see those movies where the scientist steps in the machine because it's their experiment and they want it to work. And they're gonna die being, that person that is that martyrdom, or the person that we talk about, that they really took their science experiments to heart so much. It was such a passion for them that they try this out. So cool stuff on, I really appreciate this, the debrief.org. I encourage you to look at what science is becoming. We talk about magic. Here's where this has relevancy to oneness here and to my audience is we talk about dimensions. We talk about travel. We talk about unique worlds and visions. That's where the virtual reality comes in. That's a different world that we are creating, not only in our minds, but we are bringing that forth, right? I know many shamans getting into the platform. We are also talking about teleportation and energy and going to planets. And here we are in the miracle of us. So let's get the word out. Let's share. Let's stop bickering with one another. Let's try and stop canceling everybody and signaling how we are better than the next person to us. Instead of that, the next time you consider canceling someone and shutting them down, consider where that pain is on a soul level. Absolutely. Consider on a soul level. And yes, my guides are coming to me, so I'm trying to slow down because the information comes so fast. But on a soul cellular level, is that the truth to shut these people down next to you? But really, we need to love our brethren, because what we're reflecting is our negativity, our pain, and our anger. It's huge. So let's look at it instead of the canceling, instead of the nasty, nasty judgment. Let's give some justice and really look at, should they be forgiven? And why? And is that pain your fear, or is it your pain, or is that what you're projecting on others? So let's start looking at that on that larger level of what's going on in the world of us. And that's where the I am comes in. It's very, get that out there. Oh, that was still going. Whoops. And really share that. And it's a new moon, so really reflection time. And we're going to jump into the new moon right now. It's time for reflection. It's time for understanding and some new moon rituals. Get your pad of paper out. I have a pad of paper when we talk about the magic and spelling and what we're creating in these worlds. And are we going to choose fear? Doesn't mean we have to embrace everything. We have to be cautious. And in conservative in jumping right into it. But do some research. What is true for you? What is coming up for you? What is the truth of what we are saying? So we'll quickly go into some new things, and I want to share that on the new moon, because why? The getting into the energy of us and getting into the energy of what is coming forward. We are projecting so many things. When the phone first came out, the smartphone, it was scary. Yeah, there's some electricity that's probably not good. But how do we use our smartphones for good? We use our smartphones, which have crystals in them, which we are human crystals, and we are an I-10I for it, and we are sharing that. And I thought I had this rune out today. My, where is it? Here it is. Some quick lessons for the new moon in the rune stones, and one that I had to probably put it back into cleaned back up before I got on, so I didn't have things and stuff all over the place. But the new moon energy is so vibrant. And with the new moon, we want to bring in the practicality of the energy and stay with that new moon energy and harness that new moon, right? Are you harnessing that power? Today, it's always as a Saturday. Ask me anything. I'm going to check here. I don't see anybody here today. Love you. Please feel free to question. It's an AMA. Ask me anything. I encourage you to put your questions in the chat or reach me on an email and I'll read your questions live. And we can share and we can converse and we can spend that time in the energy of Saturday. So think about on the new moon, we want to look at, are you moon curious? Moon curious. So are you harnessing the power of that energy in that curiosity of the new moon? Take that into consideration. So what can you do to bring into your life health and wealth and wisdom and wonderful juicy tidbits? It does take every day. You need to practice. Bring your spirituality up, heighten your spirituality. I can say that word, heighten your spirituality every day. Be with spirit. Some days are harder than others, and trust me, I know that mindset. Where's that mindset? Are you in somebody else's energy? Is somebody being a vampire, an energy sucker and coming in and taking all your good juju? Are you protecting yourself? Who are you around? And always, as always, I'm moving to change to a set of better people. So the 3 to 5 people that you're around really affect your life. And if they're good business partners, but maybe kind of a neurotic friend, stay with them in business and keep that on a professional basis. But be careful how much you open up to them in other spaces. Maybe your car mechanic, has some negative energy, and that does imprint, but he's a great car mechanic and he talks to you about cars. He's really highlighted and the light comes within him, and that's a good energy for him. So you're helping this person out. And so how do we utilize our friendships? How do we utilize our relationships? And maybe go looking for someone else that is good and is healthy that you're promoting. You want to promote good people, but promote people on the level that you can. Promote people. The crystals are associated with the new moon. Yes, baby doll, they are. So what crystals? I always start with the new moon. I always start, there's moonstone. There is, let me see here. I'm just typing up in here. So when we're looking at crystals, right? So good crystals for new moon rituals. Always, and I can't reach my crystals right now. Always start with quartz. Why? Because it's a repeater and it sets off the energy of what you have. I like to use moldavite because it is like a cosmic energy and it's a very strong energy. You can use like a smoky quartz or a labradorite. Obsidian. Now, I love obsidian. Why? Because it's considered a powerful magical stone, no matter how you use it. Using it for manifestation, a moon transmitting, right? They use obsidian for many centuries. They use it. Is it obsidian that they used for, I believe, arrowheads? They used obsidian. You see it in a Nicolas Cage movie. I believe it's the stone of obsidian that comes through the sky and creates that energy. Black is repelling. I love shungite. Shungite is great. Hey, baby doll, glad to see. If you have any questions, it's an Ask Me Anything. So if there's anything that you want to share here today, also, if you want to have any questions on for tarot, for runes, let's get into that too. Citrine. Oh, I even have the citrine here. Let me see. Okay, I have a little citrine baby rock. And citrine is a goal. It is a prosperity stone. And sometimes I wear like a star, and it's got a little citrine in it, and it's good for empowerment of business. It is a good energy crystal, kind of for the desires and wishes, right? And when we put those desires and wishes together in those crystals that are for us and for empowering, the new moon is new energy. The new moon is putting and spelling out. So putting down what you want to bring into your life. So writing it down, spelling it out. Very, very important. Spell out what you want. Writing on a computer is great. Getting your phone and dictating into your phone if you're on a walk, because you don't want to stop with pen and pencil necessarily. And then writing it out again. The reason you're writing it out is you're spelling. You are connected to the lexicon, the word, and the vibration, and moving it forward. You can always take that piece of paper, roll it towards you, and light it up. And then, drop it in a mason jar because you don't want anything to catch fire. I usually do it in like a kitchen sink or a bathroom somewhere if I have to turn a fan on and it gets real smoky and I forget to open the windows. I can have that going, but allowing that reason you simply roll it towards you, it's because you're bringing towards you. So the full moon, you bring it away from you. So you do the opposite. Create the affirmations, write in your journal. You can plant seeds. And so we sow seeds every day. You plant seeds, literal seeds, right? Springtime is coming. It's time to plant those seeds and so when you do harvest them, you want to nourish your seeds and tend to your seeds just like life and anything you want to put forth. But also in the harvest, like Fehu, the runestone is the harvest of your wealth. And so that's when the reflection in December, you reflect on your harvest. In the new year, the reason that you're coming into the new year, and we put all these intention out in these New Year's resolution is really to look at the business and our life, maybe our farm, if we're going to harvest, what's going on with this new year. It's intentions and goals and resolutions that you can resolve and do with. If you go on this crazy diet, maybe to lose weight or feel healthy, maybe you go on a keto. Everybody, I believe, there's a diet for every soul out here. Not everybody should be on the same diet. Our body, our blood is all different. And we react to different things. So if you get on a keto diet and it's not healthy for you, it's not something good for you, or a no carb diet, and I take certain herbs that if I don't have a piece of bread, I do like a seeded bread or a sourdough. So I have to be careful what I do. I don't just get in a rich white bread. But when I do that, I have to eat something that has some consistency that will slowly burn within my body. So those pills don't bother me. I do take a lot of cayenne, Brigham tea, and that starts to bother me after a while if I don't eat. So we are all everything different in our new year. So this is our new moon in January, the new year. So reiterate those resolutions and those goals that you want to put forth, that you can resolve, that you can tend to, that you can nourish those goals. Maybe take a walk for 5 minutes, get out in the sun. It is good for your vitamin D. It's good for your health. It heals if you have acne or anything, skin issues. The sun is healing. The sun, you go out in the sun, you oxidize. So kind of like putting H2O2, so hydrogen peroxide on a cut. That kind of oxidizes it and heals it up, just like the sun does that. Your skin's your biggest organ. Go out in the sun, detox, and get some sunshine. It's great for your mental health. If I don't get enough sun, if I don't get out and exercise, my mental health pays a price. My immune system pays a price. I feel pain. I had bad circulation issues all my life. I had health issues I fought with, immunity issues, and that sun, your mind, your body, and your soul work together. So that's really, really huge. You could create a vision board. That way you see all the time what you want. So kind of like a vision board in today's world, you're going to cut out pictures, right? But in today's world, is that vision board really kind of that articulation of the AI harvest of Instagram? So whatever you're seeing every day, if you're on Instagram or TikTok, you want that to be part of your vision board, because what you see, what you produce, what goes into your head is what you're going to bring into your life. So just kind of life hacks and practical magic to understand every day what you're doing, right? And so get it for reading, reach out to people who can assist you. Here you are, baby dolls, here in the chat. Ask the question. You can always email me. My information's in the chat. Reach out. So today the card that came up, oh, blurry background, is Justice. So Justice is an 11 card, right? It is the numerology of 11, right? And the 1, the synchronicity of what you're seeing. It's a master number. It's got the remarkable characteristic of the I am, the connection to the higher source of wisdom, right? So I do have my notes here every day. So when I'm talking and when spirit's coming to me, I always have notes, whether it's a psychic reader or anything, I take notes from what I'm hearing, right? I used to be a report writer, law enforcement. I took notes. I take notes here as a psychic because when you're channeling, when you're in your heightened energy, you forget some key important takeaways for people. We want to stay all in that. 11 carries some of the traits of 2 is a harmony, empathy, and sensitivity. Justice. So harmony is weighted on the scale of justice, right? Notes. Here they are. So for my cards, we're looking at the Lady of Justice right now has a red robe. She's sitting there with her red robe and her scale. So scale, the measure of what we have. The red robe is what? The root chakra. It is a power color. It is a strength color. It is our Kegel exercises. It is our hormones, right? Where we see, and that's why part of the problem with seating so long is not only we're not getting sunshine when we're on our computer, but we're kind of crushing that root. So we need to get out. We need to exercise. We need to move around, right? And she is holding a sword. So that's challenges, confrontation, courage, decisions, disagreements, right? She's going to balance. Okay. So the Justice, we have a sword. Exactly. Thank you, baby doll. And the sword is powering. You can slay someone with your sword, but what do we say all the time? You see it on social media. Slay all day, right? What are you slaying? You're slaying that dragon. You're slaying the mindset. You're slaying the trouble in front of you. You're not trying to slay your partner or your husband, but you're cutting through the BS, right? You're cutting through that. And the 11. This is the Queen, the Justice. So balance, right? Strength. It is the symbol, right? Okay, so we did the red, the Justice, the balancing of scale, and the 2 columns, right? The column 1 and the column 2, and the strength. So columns, you enter through those columns, and you're going into the castle, you're going into the temple, you're in the entryway, and there's a blue drape behind her. I was going to say a screen, like a green screen. There's a blue drape behind her, and the blue is what? Throat. So her root and what she feels and her passion and her strength are coming through in her voice. And the yellow, right? Yellow is solar plexus, it's creation. When you have balance and when 2 parties are together, the left and the right, Democratic and Republic are together, and they balance, you want to be in the medium. You don't want to swing too far this way or that way, kind of like a teeter-totter if people remember some of that. And so slaying that nastiness, getting rid of that. Also, clarity. In order to have justice, if you're in your pain and your passion and your mindset's going crazy and you're hating everything in the world and your soul is getting spilled and your pain and your judgment and your activism and you want to pound on everybody's door and tell them that they need to listen to this issue. Are you in the right mindset? Are you in impartial judgment, and are you balanced? What I was talking about before. This is where this whole cycle comes back. in marriage, in divorce, in family matters, in financial arrangement? Are you in agreement? So talking about friends, or talking about new science discoveries, going to the moon, uh, you know, going into an alternate dimension of virtual reality, is, are you balanced, and is your pain there? And when we go in there, if you are a coach, if you are a shaman, why would you not want to meet those people that want to be there? And for me, in mental health, and for me, having worked with veterans and whatnot, that there's the anonymity to it. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, baby doll. Never seen anyone read into the tarot. You want to match that. That's what this all means. You want the full spectrum when we're reading tarot. And the balancing in also tarot comes into the rune stone of Kinaz, or Kano. Kinaz, it's just simply a kind of like a more sign in math, right? So it's a sideways V. So like this, right? Kinaz. It's a wood energy. It's the first Aet in the earth family. Root. So the red root chakra, the balance of the family is in the root. And what goes with it, what runestone comes with it, is Kinaz. And Kinaz is positivity in our rapport and our knowledge. Balance. When we are balanced, we can have positively, and we can speak forthright through our blue throat chakra on the tarot. So the blue background she has here right at her throat is the ability to speak. And where the yellow and the sacral come in is, your creation is great when you're balanced and you're happy. But you can't, when you're faking that happy, you're not rooted in your chakra. You're not rooted on earth. However, in the crown, and the royalty of the crown is our aura. The yellow is also our good balance, right? Our good creativity, and bringing that forthright for everybody and empowering that. And so in the new moon, it comes with a citrine. Citrine is an amber, which is kind of a woody or a rooted color. It is also got brown. And so there's 3 colors on the color wheel. So if you talk about hair color in the color wheel, is in my one of my lives, I was a hairdresser. And so the color in the color wheel, there is red, blue, and yellow. When people say purple, purple is blue and red. Green is yellow and blue. So how do these come together? Brown is a light version of the orange, which is yellow. And so it has that, and some of the mix of blue, right? And a little bit of red. So it's got all that, and it's just before that blackness of all the colors, right? When all the colors come together. And you know, when a kid colors, and they melt all the color crayons together with their warm little fingers, and or the paints, and it all turns into that black. So it's not an absence of color, but more of the color. Green, there's a green shawl here. So when we talk about green, it's the heart. The shawl is over the heart. There's a balance of a piece of shawl here and a balance of a piece of shawl here. So these are kind of the holographic graphic version of the Rider-Waite deck. The green is our heart. So we have red going into kind of a brownish orange in our sacral chakra, which would be the citrine stone of the new moon. The green of the heart, right? So we have root, sacral, solar plexus in the yellow, and the height of the solar plexus and the vibrancy up top, right? It goes into the white, and we think of the sun, and we think of our energy. So that when you look at balance, the justice is balance. You're not in balance if you're not in your chakras. You're not rooted in those 7 main chakras up and down, right? On earth and the sky, as above, so below, as within, so without. So go within so you don't go without. This is what we're looking at here. And even further on the justice card, traditional symbolism carries above all obvious meanings. There's some considerations that you want to look at. The figure is seated between, again, 2 pillars for the 11, the high priestess. It is also seems desirable, of course, to indicate that the moral principle, which deals unto every man and his works. So you want balance again. So weighing the scale is not just huge feminine or masculine energy. You got to be balanced. Not just balanced in politics, balance in your family. Meet them where they're at. Stop trying to force them into your feelings. Meet them where they're at. Their experiences are true to them and their understanding is true to them. Balance in the male and the female. She is bringing order with the balance, right? So the grounding, again, the two pillars, right? The two pillars when you're walking into um, you're entering into a Roman building and there's the pillars like the obelisk. So a single obelisk has that one point of energy, the pillars of balance. So there's always two. So when we look at the tarot, we want not only just to look at the tarot, but we want to understand what the colors mean. And it's very simple. Very, very simple to look at any time when we're looking at tarot and everything. And so into this new moon, let's look at some cards and see what comes up. So this first card that I'm looking at is practice, practice, practice. This is a old school Doreen Virtue card. Practice, practice, practice. What does that mean? Don't stay in that dipping your toe in the water mentality, but practice at a higher level. So are you increasing your practices? Are you seeing a difference? Feel a difference, have a ritual. Don't just one and done. Today I'm going to meditate for 3 hours and now I'm a perfect meditator. What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing the next day? Take that 3 minutes of time. Daily practice. So make it practical. You know, as an oil junkie, I take my oils with me. It's this Palo Santo and sage, the actual herb with the oils in it. Why? Because it's empowering. When I'm out in the world, I can't just take my sage and burn it in the Walmart, right? I can take this out, I can unroll it, rub it in my hands, and I can create right then that feeling of empowerment, that feeling of strength, right? So when we look at these cards, she is showing practice in a field of growth. And what does that practice mean? I do use both. It depends, baby doll, on the brand of oils. Started with doTERRA. I use some of Young Living on the organic side, and there is some that I use from kind of like a bulk aromatherapy. They have organic oils, anything that's organic, or utilizing your own oil. I make sure that I share it with some organic herbs. I want the full balance. Herbs are very important to me for grounding. I'm very much a rooted tree grounded person. And in here, when she's showing the practice of skills and talents, the flowers are blooming, right? The green grass is growing. Practice is seeding. And in talking about seeding and sowing seeds on the new moon, you are starting a new practice. So make sure that in those practices that you continue them. That that you continue those practices every day. Yeah, sharp obsidians for arrowheads. I'm just going through here. Um, Okay, so yes, anything organic for the oils. We talked about the black obsidian. We're coming to a close, so baby doll, you're here live. If you have any quick questions that I can answer for you, we're going to close in about 4 minutes, but I want you to remember to today, new moon energy. What does the new moon bring to you? What does this bring to you? Yeah, I order Palo Santo too. But you can get Palo Santo in an oil. You can get Palo Santo chips from Amazon or eBay, Alibaba, anywhere that you want to order it. Just try and get the organic kind. It really depends what's more ecologically friendly. always organic or naturally grown. So I'm a wild crafter at heart. I harvest natural, something, maybe in Mount Charleston or something in the woods or the trees, something natural that you're growing without the pesticides. So if it's natural, don't take that away from people who are harvesting and growing natural things. If it is natural, if it is blessed, if it is kosher, that means that it is healthy, that it is blessed. If it is natural, if it is wild, I always go with wildcraft. You have to read the labels. Don't go down a rabbit hole. Really take your pendulum, take a pendulum and put it over the herb. Let's say that this little thing here is an herb. When you take your pendulum, is it, or use your body as a pendulum, are you drawn towards it? And why are you drawn towards it? So just simply, again, in the root and the balance, trust your body as a pendulum. If you're going towards it, it's healthier for you. It's what you need. If you're going away from it, bad, scary stuff. So I because I'm an herbalist, I worked in an herb store. I'm an aromatherapist, a crystal Reiki master. What I have to do is I have to judge. There are times when we go out in the world and we have to live with other beings, that everything cannot be organic. It cannot all be natural. We have to trust what is best for us. Do we need it? Or do we just want it? Hey, if you want to have a cookie and go sit in your room and binge and watch Netflix for a minute, why are you doing it? Are you in a mental health crisis? Do you need a break? What is it that you're doing? So remember, all of these rituals come back to one thing, the healthiness of you. It is a new year. It is a new moon. Set your goals, put your intentions out there, align your chakras, and be the best you can. And don't force people into your thought or belief. Share with them the healthy, loving point of you, your spirit. And as you share that with them, they will want to be in that charisma. They'll want to be in that energy. If that's not what they want, perhaps you can't have that conversation. That's okay. But maybe you can go out to lunch and enjoy a sandwich, a cup of coffee, and talk about the sunshine or the beach. Find something that you can align with together and communicate on a positive level. There's a challenge for the new moon. Bring that energy to yourself. Because when you do that, just like in networking, find who do we know, like, and trust, and why do I want to know, like, and trust you? Are you showing up every day for yourself? Are you showing up for me? Are you replying to my emails? Now we have a connection. Now we have a collaboration. Now we can go into a joint venture. And that's on every realm spiritually. And as a heart-centered entrepreneur, you want to make sure to fulfill that every day for you. That's practice, practice, practice. Learn to communicate, learn to be with people, and you'll learn to stop screaming. Yes, hey, I love comedy. I love to laugh. Silly, crazy things make me laugh, but that's my personal. It may not make you laugh, but that's okay. Just shut it off. We can find something that we love and enjoy together. And I challenge you on the new moon to bring that energy to yourself. Challenge to not only balance yourself, but to find something loving and beautiful and trustworthy in someone else. And if not, just slam the door on them, get them out of your life. So anyway, people, a great show today. Love it. Baby doll, thank you for being here and getting in here in the chat. Yes, it will be available. Yes, yes, yes. This will be available afterwards. I'm not sure what channel you're coming in on, but it will be on the Illuminate Vegas channel, the One is Talk Radio, so Facebook. It'll still stay there. You can find us on YouTube. Encourage you to subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. I love it. Thank you, love and light. Absolutely. And enjoy your new moon energy. And the UFOs and the UAPs up here, because that's just funny stuff. That's what made me laugh. So whoever put that up there, on to restream and let me share it. Thank you so much. Have a loving day. Ciao.